What's up, Police Post? Today we're going to talk about foam rolling, we're going to talk about stretching, mobility, all those fun buzzword terms that we see and we hear we need to do. And I want to kind of go over and break some of this down on, do you really need to do them? And what is it actually doing? First of all, stretching is not actually stretching the muscle. Surprise, right? Again, maybe it is, but we don't have enough research to show that the muscle length is actually changing. What we theorize to actually happen when you're stretching is your nervous system is now adapting and allowing you to go further into a stretch. We see this because if I had a patient who had a frozen shoulder and they can only get their arm to here, and then immediately, when we put them under anesthesia and put them to sleep, we can get them to go further. The same goes for a lot of people who are post-surgical. Right after you have a total knee or total hip or something like of that nature, the doctors are going to make sure you have full range of motion before they let you go home. But right after that, when I go home, for the next 6 to 8 weeks, due to swelling, muscle guarding, I have limited range of motion. But again, if we were to put you to sleep and really crank on your knee or hip, we're going to find actually we do have that range of motion. So when we're stretching, what's really happening is our nervous system is saying, hey, this position is okay. I may feel a stretch and I can sink a little deeper because the nervous system says, hey, there's no threat here. I can continue to go here. You're not going to tear anything. You're not going to harm yourself. Next point, foam rolling. What does foam rolling really do? The answer to that is we don't really know. What does massage really do? We don't really know. There are some good theories. There is some evidence to show that it can help with lymph drainage, swelling, etc. But I would say, if I could put my money on it, what would be the biggest thing that you're going to be experiencing when you're doing foam rolling or getting massages? You're spending time relaxing and what we call down regulating. There was a recent research paper published in the National Strength and Conditioning Association that looked at blood pressure response and what we know as heart rate variability, which in theory is still more to be done with that, shows your nervous system response to overtime, essentially. Okay, so what they found with foam rolling was if they had one group who did foam rolling, one group that had a placebo, which is a fake treatment of some sort of heat or light on an area. I think it was the quads. But what they found was post-intervention of the foam rolling group, they had a decrease in blood pressure and a decrease in sympathetic response, which is that fight or flight response. Now, is that because it felt good? We don't really know, but for the most part, you're spending time on you, and when you put pressure into an area that feels good, it takes you out of your head of thinking about what's going on with the rest of my day, and it's putting me into, wow, this ball is really digging into my IT band or my quad, and it's really tense, and I can be in the present moment. There is benefit to that. I'm not saying we're not affecting the muscle tissue. I'm sure there's something that has to do with the muscle tissue, but this is more likely going to be neurological. We're more neurologically feeling good, where our nervous system is telling that, hey, this muscle that I feel like is tight, after I put pressure on it, it feels good. It gets the nervous system to calm down and realize that there's no threat or no stress being applied to that area. So, do I need to be doing stretching? Do I need to be foam rolling? I think you don't have to do any of those things. I think as long as you are moving through your full range of motion with loaded exercise and activity, you don't need to stretch. The best type of stretching is going to be loaded stretching in which you can control that range of motion. If I can reach down and touch my toes, but I can't breathe at the bottom when I reach down and touch my toes, or I can't pick something up from that position or change and own that position, I need help getting out of that position, what good is that mobility? Something to think about for sure. But we do need to control more than stretching, we need to control our stress and relaxation. So stress is anything that revolves around physical stress, exercise, activity, or mental stress. Recovery is sleep, but not only does it relate to sleep, it relates to what you do throughout the day. Are you really stressed out? Maybe it's sitting on a foam roller or a lacrosse ball or getting a massage where you're dedicating 10 minutes to an hour just on you in the moment is going to give you long-term, or not long-term, but it'll give you that short-term benefit of, okay, everything's okay. I don't have to worry about what I have next. Okay, so that stress and relaxation matters more than you actually stretching your muscles. Okay. If you guys have any questions, I hope this kind of makes you think a little bit more about the whole topic of stretching and like what we're actually doing. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Reach back out to us at Police Post Fitness. Thanks guys, stay effective.